What's up, home slice? Lucas here. The straddle planche is a super impressive looking move. However, it may not be as hard as some people make it seem. That's right, follow the steps in this video and in only 5 minutes, you may be holding your first straddle planche. But you gotta focus. Before you get started learning these secret hacks so you can learn the straddle planche fast, be sure you're warmed up, and if you need to stretch anything out, go ahead. Here's a few stretches that I like. Just keep in mind, the more flexible you are in the legs, the easier it's going to be to do the straddle planche because you get to disperse your weight more towards the sides instead of out front and back. Alright, you're warmed up, let's get started learning the straddle planche. Now the first thing we're going to do is we are going to get used to balancing on our hands in a straddle planche-like position. Don't worry, it's so much easier to hold than a handstand, and I'm going to show you how to slowly get into it to where you're going to get this in like 30 seconds. You're going to be like, wow. Now that position I am talking about, some call a frog pose. So how you get into it is you want to get into a squat position. All right, get your pelvis between your feet like this, hands shoulder width to slightly wider than shoulder width, okay? You can point your fingers out forward, all right? Or a little bit to the side, whatever you feel like is comfortable for you. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your thigh, right? Your thigh, and you're going to place it right above your elbow, okay? On each side. And now what you can do is you can lean forward and come off your feet like this, or if you're feeling a little sketchy about that, what I like to do is come off one foot first. See how I got this other foot on? And then hop off this foot like that. Oh, oh. And then you can just hold it right here. Now in this position, if you start falling forward, use your fingers. See how I use my fingers to push myself back? And then if I'm starting to come back this way, try to lean a little bit forward, okay? And if you do come back to your feet, just kind of jump back into it. Boom. Bring it in, hack time. This actually isn't a hack, it's just good practice, but it will be turned into a hack in the later stages of this video, so pay attention. It'll help you learn the straddle planche quickly. Getting into your frog pose with your fingers forward, right, towards your face like this. What I want you to think about doing though is when they're on the ground, I want you to think about turning them outwards without turning them outwards, okay? Instead you're trying to turn them and you're bracing that ground. And in trying to twist the hands, you really brace the armpits into the body, stabilizing the shoulders significantly on each side. And this is really going to help you out when it comes to learning the straddle planche later in this video very soon. So do this now in the frog pose. Alright, minute 2. First of all, when you're putting your arms out in this next exercise and eventually for the straddle planche, don't just put your arms out like this. You want to push them out, okay? All the way out. And bring it in tight so you're almost like squeezing it in. Now let's apply those concepts to this second exercise we're going to learn. The turtle freeze. Arms down, arms out, hands turned, elbows turn in, bring them into your core, flex the core, you're flexing your core, you're flexing your arms. Now those elbows should be resting on your core muscles as you flex your core. Come off of the knees like this. Boom. Now just like before in the frog pose, if you don't want to just jump into it, you can come off one foot first and then the other foot. Pow. Alright, bring it in. It's hack time again. This one is actually a hack. So when I am getting into my turtle pose, you notice my knees are on the ground until I basically lift off. And that thus leaves me with my hips downward, right? So rather than having your hips nice and straight like this, having them in a downwards relaxed position makes it easier to balance not only in this turtle freeze, but in the straddle planche later. In order to have a very straight straddle planche, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to utilize your back and flex your glutes. The way I'm teaching it in this video is how to hack the straddle planche in 5 minutes. Did I mention that before? And then later on, if you want to straighten it out, after you develop the strength and you get the confidence now, you can straighten them out later, or you can just go for it right now. There's no rules. You can do what you want. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to get back in the turtle position. However, we're going to change the positioning of our arms very slightly, making it slightly more difficult, getting us closer to the straddle planche. Just like this. Arms down, out. Bend your elbows in, turtle position. Notice how my fingers are out to the side. What I want to do for this next step, I want to turn my fingers a little bit more towards my head. But I don't want to turn them all the way just yet and bring my elbows all the way out to the side. I just want to turn them halfway in between, like a 45-degree angle in between there, somewhere in between, right in the middle. Work on that for the next 30 seconds, all right? Just go into it, go out of it, work on the balance. Next, we are going to get back into our frog pose. This time, we're going to lift one leg out at a time, getting used to countering our balance in that straddle planche-like position. Ooh. In. Work on this for the next minute, and when you're doing this, be sure you're really thinking about keeping those arms pushed out, tight, locked in. Now when your leg goes out, you might feel the tendency to shift your weight towards the opposite arm. That's totally okay, that's actually great because that's getting you used to putting that weight over that shoulder, which in the end of this is gonna be over both shoulders rather than resting on your elbows and your shoulders. Awesome, now that you're used to this, we're gonna maybe hit our first straddle planche right here. I want you to get back into your frog position. Arms nice and tight, core nice and tight, everything nice and controlled. Then from here, instead of putting one leg out, I want you to try to do both legs. Oh! And then come back right when you need it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Boom. Straddle planche. Now I know the hips are down and the elbows may be slightly bent. But this is a 5-minute tutorial. What do you expect? Elbows slightly bent. That brings me to another installment of hack time. Now, if you want to have those straight arms, if you want to have that perfect straight straddle planche, in my opinion, it's harder to achieve that. In fact, the reason why a little slight bend in the elbow is easier for most people is in order to keep your arms straight, or like, you know, most form freaks do -4 degrees in the back, then what you're going to have to do if you want to keep that brace going on like this is you're going to have really good wrist flexibility, which is hard for most people. Another thing you can do is you can start turning your fingers more towards the side, but in doing so you lose that ability to brace tighter. What I found out is just a little slight bend in the elbow, just a little bit, just like that. You know what I mean? Makes it a lot easier. You have options. You have multiple options. If you want to get the straight arms, you can just keep your arms always straight. But if you don't mind bending your elbows to learn it, you know, like I don't, like many don't, no one cares. Nobody cares, okay? That one guy cares, but nobody else cares. Then you might as well just do it with the bent arms, save your wrists, and then over time, if you really care about it and you want to, you can work on straightening your arms out. I don't see the problem. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see the problem. Also, another approach you might enjoy is going into this hack straddle planche from a handstand position. If you want a tutorial on how to hack a handstand, how to get and learn to hold a handstand for long, check out my tutorial in the description. We're up in the corner. So there it is. You got the hack straddle planche in only 5 minutes. Oh, look at that. Now, if you want to clean it up, just keep working on it. Fix the things you don't like, keep working on it. But in my opinion, this right here gives you the confidence you need to show yourself that you can achieve whatever you put your mind to. And you did it fast. Better yet. If you're interested in more fitness related stuff, also check out my fitness channel, a ton of free content there. I have a whole program online. You can follow along right there for free, the 1-month plan, or you can get the PDF version of that too and all that other goody stuff. All that information on my fitness YouTube channel, Only Kinds Fitness. Check that out as well. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Thank you all so much for your positive support and feedback. Don't forget to subscribe. More videos coming out, more learning stuff, teaching stuff in 5 minutes, so stay tuned. Hope you all have a great day. Peace. I will see you all in the next video.